So recently, the game Earthion was released on Steam. And unfortunately for the developers of the game, it has now been decrypted. It was actually how do you say it? The opposite of decrypt. It was encrypted. Like, where the hell is my brain? This is ruined. I'm keeping it in. It was pretty easily decrypted by people on the internet. I will say that. I bought the game. It's on my Steam. Boy, you know what? Just for posterity, I'm going to actually show in my library where I bought it, because I don't want people to make the horrible assumption that I got it by dubious means. I did not. There it is. I bought it. I can click play. Earthion. Okay. So I didn't want that to become something that was brought into question. I paid for it. It was $20. It's a drop in the bucket. Support the developers. I will say that. Support the developers. That being said, if there's one thing I can say to the developers, and that goes for, I have a great deal of respect for Mr. Koshiro, but you should have seen this coming. You should have seen it coming, and everyone else involved should have seen it coming. Limited Run should have seen it coming. In fact, I would have released the Steam version last. Sorry for getting so loud. Steam version should have been released last. You should have seen this coming. Let me just say that this wouldn't have happened, and it wouldn't be widely spread on the internet like it is. The ROMs are available now. They were encrypted, and they've been decrypted. And I know this because somebody decrypted it for me, because I wanted to play it on RetroArch. They messed up by not offering the ROM itself for download, or for not even just download, for purchase, or at least leaving it to where you can easily access it by buying the Steam version. Plenty of people would have bought it, and they would have happily supported the developers. This was a huge mistake. They dropped the ball tremendously. What is that? I can't remember the exact saying, but there's a saying that Gabe Newell has, and it's along the lines of you have to offer something better than piracy for people to go for it. It wasn't better just offering it on Steam, okay? Piracy was going to happen when you didn't make the ROM readily available for purchase. You messed up with that. And again, I would have waited for the Steam version should have been last. That's not to say somebody wouldn't have decrypted the ROM and yanked it off of a Switch cartridge or whatever else file. I'm sure it would have happened. But I would also like to state that if you didn't want something like this to happen, why didn't you use a modern engine? It's a little harder to decrypt something like this when you use a modern engine. Why did you use... I say engine, but what I mean is, why didn't you use an engine like Unity or Godot or something along those lines to make this game instead of making basically making a ROM? They made a ROM file and then they encrypted them to make sure that you couldn't play them any way that you wanted to. I saw it coming a mile away. I was like, oh, somebody will figure this out. Somebody will figure this out. Listen, there's a thing when it comes to retro games. There's something of a community, all right? And it's especially prevalent in the West. And I guess Mr. Koshiro didn't get the memo. But we make sure that there are ways for people to play things. We leave options open. We don't clamp it down and refuse to let people play things their way when it's a game for an older console. It's not really an older game. It's a brand new game. But he made it for an older console. He should have seen this coming a mile away. All right? And the fact that he didn't see it coming from a mile away, or maybe he did. Maybe they knew this could happen, but they just kind of ignored it. And now they're paying the price for it. You could have avoided this. You wouldn't see so many people sharing illegal shit if you would have just left it available right out of the folder from Steam. I'm telling you, it mitigates piracy. Piracy is more prevalent when you try to block people from doing what they want. It becomes more prevalent. We see a similar thing when it comes to see, and now I can't even remember what it's called. We see similar when it comes to see, and now I can't remember what that thing is called. De novo. I think you know what I'm talking about, where we try to prevent people from playing a game offline. Basically, you have to have an internet connection on PC. Those sorts of softwares that are included and lock something down. When you lock something down that tightly, you're bound to see people take it as a challenge. Some very, very smart people, as ill will and ill intent as there was, and they will do things like this. He calls it a hacked file. It's not a hacked file. It was decrypted because they had it encrypted. So now it is readily available. And I will kind of go over here to the desktop for a moment and show you. So this was his thing that he put up. A hacked ROM of Earthion is being circulated online. Some people may think it's official, but it's not. A lot of people don't think it's official. I can guarantee you nobody thinks it's official. But it's not. The official version is available only on Steam for now. The Mega Drive Genesis version will launch next year as a cartridge only. No downloadable ROM is planned, and that's where you're messing up. Let's look at games like Demons of Asterborg. I'm not sure it's pronounced. That game was released on Steam as well, but that game was released as well as Xenocrisis. Both games, you can yoink out the ROM very easily. They're not encrypted, and you can play them how you want once you purchase them. That is where he's messing up. He's doing the Japanese thing that Japanese do, where they try to lock it all down. You can't do that. It's a challenge to hackers, and this was going to happen. Look, the honest people are going to buy your game. You were not going to sell massive copies of this game. You were just not going to do that. And acknowledging it, we call this the Streisand effect. You're acknowledging that this is a thing happening. So now people are going to go, ooh, let me go out and look around and see if I can't find this ROM now instead of purchasing the game. Keep your mouth shut. If I were you, I would delete these posts, Mr. Koshiro. Shakira? Why am I trying to say Shakira? Koshiro. Mr. Yuzo Koshiro. Get rid of these. It is called the Streisand effect. Now everybody knows that there is a hacked version of the ROM out there, and instead of buying your game, they're going to go looking for it. In fact, I feel like I should tell him this. Just ahead. There's this thing called the Streisand effect. But basically, you cause more harm when you bring attention to everyone. Yes, the Streisand effect. Basically, you cause more harm than good when you bring attention to these sorts of issues. Now everyone will be searching for the ROM rather than buying your game. I don't think Japanese are familiar with the Streisand effect. As I just stated, you're bringing attention to this. It's telling everybody, oh, there's a ROM out there? Official or not, it doesn't matter. There's a ROM out there? Oh! I'll just look for the ROM rather than paying the $21 to buy your game officially. Not good, not a good look, not the way to go. And for future reference, and for posterity, and for just, I gotta say this, my suggestion moving forward is either make sure a ROM is available for purchase somehow, be it within the folder where you don't have to hack it, or don't make games for an older console. Don't make new games for an older console, and instead I would suggest using an engine. Use Godot, use Unity, use any engine out there that you can use for 2D games like this. When you make the game and you make it available on Steam, it's a little harder to snatch it up and make it to where you can just emulate it or whatever. This is kind of on him. I have so much respect for the man, but this was the wrong way to go. And of course, now I'm making a video on it. The Streisand effect will go further. And so now everyone's going to know about it. Your cells are going to suffer. Hopefully physical releases for other consoles like the Switch will help. Offering the game by means of purchase as an actual cartridge, which they're supposed to do that will help as well. It's unfortunate that these kind of things have happened in the past and that they will continue to happen, but this is just, Japanese are like this. The Japanese kind of come into things, they don't seem to understand. They think they can control the narrative, and it backfires, and it fires up in their face. This is not good, but it was bound to happen. This is the goof. See ya.